For 12 successive quarters, the growth rate declined from 8% to 4%. Never before in India's history has it happened. If you plot it on a graph, you will find 8% come down every quarter. The 12th quarter ended with 4%. And then the corona year, the first quarter ended with minus 24.4. So 12 quarters the economy was declining. The growth rate was declining. So 2018-19 and 19-20, although pre-corona years, were not bountiful years, were not successful years. They were moderately growing years. 2021 was a bad year. There's no difficulty about it. Now, what is the celebration about? The celebration is we have recovered. We are on our way to double-digit growth. Now, anybody who understands simple arithmetic, to be precise, simple algebra, fractions, will know if on a negative base, if you are here, if you grow from minus 24, even if you grow to minus 10, it will be a growth. You're still minus, but you're still a growth. And if you come to minus 2, it is still growth, but you're still negative. It is only when you cross 0, your head is above the water. What does it matter if a man's head is underwater 24 feet, or 20 feet, or 15 feet, or 10 feet, or 5 feet? He's still under the water. His head must come above the surface of the water. And it must come up to a level pre-corona. I hope I'm making myself clear. It is only when you cross the growth rate of 1920, the total output or total GDP of 1920, you can say, I'm growing. Because until then you're not growing. You're only recovering and you're not growing. Now let's look at the numbers. In the first half, the first quarter of 21-22, which is the current year, the total output was 17.83 lakh crore. Let's take it about 18 lakh crore. In the second quarter, it was 19.48 crore. Let's take it as 19.5 crore. This is still lower than the first quarter of 2019-20 and the second quarter of 2019-20. If you take the first 2 quarters of 2019-20, the total output is 40,44,000 crore. The first quarter and the second quarter of 21-22 is only 37 lakh crore. We are still below 2019-20. I'm not comparing it with the corona year. I'm comparing it with the pre-corona year. We have still not crossed the pre-corona year level. Yet, the government celebrates. We are on the way to recovery. Who is recovered? I want to know. Whose wealth has increased by several $100 billion? Only 2 people's wealth has increased. I don't have to tell you the names. Everybody knows the names. Once upon a time, every child you ask, who are the richest people? They will say Tata Birla. Now Tata and Birla are nowhere in the picture. Because Tata and Birla are no longer cronies of Mr. Narendra Modi. You have to be a crony of Narendra Modi to be rich in this country. Who is benefited? I'm asking you, think about it. Think about your village. All of you, I'm sure, Many of you come from a village, and all of you have got roots in the village. I have a root in my village. I go back to my village when I go to my constituency once a month, twice a month. Who has recovered? Who has improved? Whose life has improved? Ask yourself that question. Let's start with the poorest of the poor. Who are the poorest people in the village? The poorest people in a village are the scheduled castes, the scheduled tribes, those who do the least desired jobs, cleaning, scavenging, doing daily coolie work. These are the poorest people. You cannot deny that there are such poor people in this country. And the UPA government, according to the World Bank, we lifted 27 crore people out of poverty. Never before in human history have in a period of 10 years, 27 crore people have been lifted out of poverty above the poverty line. The Azim Premji University did a research and has said after demonetization and after the corona period, several crore people who were above the poverty line have been pushed below the poverty line. When poverty increases, who are most affected? The most affected, and let us be honest and admit it, the most affected are the scheduled castes, the scheduled tribe, the neglected OBCs, the most backward among the OBCs, who are doing the least desired jobs. The least desired jobs are cleaning, sweeping, daily coolies, handcart pullers, loaders, unloaders, people who do physical labor, people who climb trees to pluck coconuts or palm fruit, toddy tappers. These are the least desirable jobs in any country.